The area of Napa that we're headed to right now, about 2 to 3 years ago, had some really bad fires, which you can kind of see out behind me. There used to be tons of trees all through here. It was really super wooded. And unfortunately, there was a fairly large fire that wiped out a lot of the homes and vegetation in this area. So it's been a couple depressing drives coming up here, but I must say this is the first time I've seen it so green, which is awesome to see. The pond that we're going to, they were about a quarter to a half mile away from the burn. So obviously the biggest issue with that is all the ash falling from the sky, potentially dropping the pH. Thankfully, this pond is very familiar with pH issues. So they were able to take preventive measures and the fish were doing just fine. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite views from my drive. I'm new to having the camera in the back watching me as I drive, so I have no idea if you saw any of those shots that I took, but I'm just going to show you what I get to see as I'm coming up on the hill here on the backside of Napa. Like I said, I've had this client for a very long time, and he's actually part of our subscription program. So our subscription program, you get 2 appointments every year, once in the spring once it's warm enough, and once in the fall as the temperatures start going down. So he was one of our platinum subscribers, which means I have to pull out 10 fish, which I love doing because we actually have a chart of all the fish as they've gotten older. We have weights, we have lengths, we have pictures, so it's kind of been this whole evolution of the pond. One other thing about this pond, it's one of the few that I actually have to get into. So, there goes almost out the door. So, yes, I'm going to be putting on my waders and hopping in the pond with our seine net. Thankfully, again, over time, I've just gotten really good at figuring out how different ponds work. So, I'm going to wader up and jump in the pond. All right, so here I have my very lovely waders. And then extra accessory of a wader belt. Because this is great, I can stick all my nets in it, which is great because once I'm in the pond, I need my herding net in one hand, sock net in the other, and sometimes I need 2 hands for the herding net, which means I can tuck my sock net right into my pants here. So we're good to go. So we got the fish cordoned off behind that seine net. They're all over there. All the guys have already gone, are on this side. Here's our assistant. We got our scale for doing weights. Got a fish in the drug tub right now. Got all of our slides, all of our notes here. Got the ultrasound connected to my phone. So again, for this, everyone's going to be getting exams. We got 10 fish to go, and I think this is number 5. Alrighty, all right. So these fish have all been flashing quite a bit, but on her, she actually has a nasty bruise right here by her fin. This is likely also caused by flashing. A little patch of scale loss right there too. Does have a little bit of orange here, but that's actually for normal pigment. So yes, we have seen some fish flashing, but that's the first physical evidence that we've seen other than a few missing scales. 10 fish. So I got all our samples lined up right here. I'm going to see if there's anything on them that would explain them having that flashing behavior. This time of year, sometimes low-grade infestations that I might not be able to see just because it's starting to get warm, might not be visible, but we're going to see if there's something that we can go ahead and treat. We got the scope mount down here, so we'll see if we find anything. So after scraping all 10 fish with some having clinical signs of flashing, I found one parasite. So heading to our next pond now, about 45 minutes away. But okay, so for that pond, we scraped 10 fish, and I found one Gyrodactylus, just one. So is that a reason to treat the pond? Probably not. So this is a very common spring problem where the temperatures, as they are slowly coming up, parasites can replicate very quickly. The fish's immune system kind of lags behind a little bit. So again, this is probably something that they are slowly dealing with on their own. There's only one fish that's really showing severe clinical signs, and I put severe very mildly. He's got a bruise, again, right there by his pectoral fin. But other than that, these guys are looking pretty good. So I would recommend to not treat them for this particular time. Told the caretaker what to look out for, you know, if there's any ulcerating, if they have lots of missing scales. Then we're going to go ahead with a salt treatment. And they got to have a salt treatment last year, about the same time, for a very similar issue. So again, these parasites are on fish all the time. So I mean, you can't sterilize them. You just got to make sure that they're at manageable levels. Having one on 10 fish is very manageable. So, goodness, I'm just tired. You can see I'm sweating on the camera here. Goodness, that was a lot of work. That was almost 2.5 hours. We only have one platinum client right now, which I'm kind of glad about. We did have another one, but her pond was so cloudy that I literally could not actually pull 10 fish out. I went back twice and got 8 total. That's it. So I just want you to appreciate the lovely view that we have. We're driving through a vineyard on both sides. I love this drive so much. Put my arm down, you can actually see the vineyard out the window. So we're going to one more client today. They have not approved me to film, so this will be it for this episode. Yeah, this is just one of our spring health checks. Really good client, and again, seeing some flashing, but nothing really that we're gonna want to treat. So that's it for today. We'll see you on the next episode of the Fish Vet Files.